very, very honored today. We have a very special guest, Master Ximena Gavino, and she, it's truly an honor. She's a heaven saint, and she also one of the earlier mission leaders. She has been like overall leader, business leader, and then marketing manager. She just have maybe did just to serve the mission in such a beautiful and a powerful way. She has amazing wisdom. She has been working very closely with Master Sha for many years, so she has gained great wisdom and great a very powerful experience. And I always, when I have some difficulties and challenges, she's the one I usually go to ask for advice. And she will. I remember once I had some difficulties how to set up a procedure for our Dao Science. Dao Science 抱怨修一 procedure, and she's like giving us teachings many times for our whole team, and really guided us how to do it. It was so profound. It's literally completely changed the whole dynamics of the committee. And so now actually I use that everywhere and everything we do. So she's also amazing, very powerful healer, just an amazing teacher. And I like to ask her, even some personal, like, how can I be with my sister, how to balance our relationships, I will ask her about it. And she always gives me great advice. So, so it's with such honor and a blessing today where we have her with us. And so Mas Ximena, maybe you want to, so now she's also a mission leader, helping Master Sha set up more centers. And also if center was not, she go to different centers to train the center leaders so that, the center can be function properly. So I'm so glad, now she's with us, so maybe she can train all of us, so we can all be a good healer and also grow ourselves spiritually. And she has gone through so much, so she has so much can share, and we can learn from her. Thank you so much, Mas Ximena, for being here with us. We're so grateful.
So thank you, Dr. Rulin. Thank you for inviting me to be with you. So I want to start. I want to start by sharing the role that the Tao calligraphy field has played in my healing journey. Because if you understand that part, if you understand that, then you'll understand why I'm so passionate about the Tao calligraphy field. So in May of 2017, I took a fall. I was in my hometown of San Francisco. I live up in Nob Hill, and I had just picked up a few groceries. Just had a couple of bags, just carrying a few things. I was literally half a block from my house, and I landed sprawled out flat on the sidewalk. I slammed on the sidewalk, hit my knees, hit my hips. The groceries broke my fall. Otherwise, I would have hit my face on the pavement. That fall skinned my knee, but it also set off a series of health and spiritual events. So within a few months, I developed a condition called Tarlov cysts. And Tarlov cysts are cysts that are formed on the nerve endings in the spinal cord because the sheath of the spinal column is loose. So the spinal fluid gathers and forms what they call them cysts. They cannot replace they cannot replace this, right? This cannot be replaced. This is not something that has been done by Western medicine. So there's some experimental procedures that are done. There's about 6 or 7 doctors in the world that work with patients who have this condition, but there's so few patients that they don't actually do research to find out why. Why does this happen for somebody? So when I developed this, I went to my doctors in California, and they didn't even do X-rays. They didn't even want to do X-rays because what happened was the way that it manifested is that the production of spinal fluid, it was just like nonstop. So I had these pounding headaches that are called concussion headaches. And I had pain levels that were a 25 on a scale of 1 to 10. I had so much inflammation that my hips popped out and they wouldn't hold. And so I was basically dragging my left leg. I could move my right leg, but I was dragging my left leg behind me. I couldn't walk, I couldn't sit. Lying down was just as painful as standing or sitting. There wasn't really any position that was comfortable. And I couldn't stand for more than an hour because the pain levels were just so intense, just really unbearable. And at that time, I was supporting San Francisco, and I was I was helping them to go from one level of social media to another level of social media. So I ended up being the AV person in the Dao Chang. So twice a week, I was in the Dao Chang when we were tracing 40 calligraphies. So my pain levels started to come down. Not a lot, but they started to come down. So when I mentioned that to my doctor said, "Oh, there's nothing we can do. Pain levels are going down." But I'm like, "But I can't walk. I can't sit. I can't stand. I can't even make tea because shooting pain." So the condition continued to advance to the point where I could not get out of bed. In the morning, I could not get out of bed. The best I could do is I could not even move my head to the right, and I could move my head a little bit to the left, but I had everything that I would need in the mornings, I would put within arm's reach because I could move my arm. So I could grab whatever I needed to grab from, things like malas and calligraphy cards. And I would need to chant and trace for 3 hours to bring the inflammation down because I couldn't get up. There was no way to get up. There was no rolling over. I couldn't move. I could not even, move one leg, nothing. I couldn't move. The pain was excruciating. And there was so much inflammation in my neck that I couldn't lift my head. Nothing. I couldn't move. So I would have to do 3 hours of practice in order for the fluids, the body fluids, to move so that I could roll over and off the bed to get up. And I would generally be good for about an hour, hour and a half, and then I'd have to lie down again and go through that process again and again. So I did this. And so this was in May. I fell. By August, September, this was my condition every day. By October, I was really, really struggling. But I managed to get myself on a plane and go to Belgium. Imagine being on a plane for 15 hours or something. I don't remember, but it's not 6 hours to go to Belgium. So flew to Belgium, Master Sha was doing retreats, and the frequency was really high. So the pain levels went off even more. They were just unbelievable. But the level of negativity was so high that Master Sha could not help me. He could not help me. So I spent 3 weeks in the compassionate care, looking up at the ceiling, right? Flat on my back. And chanting, mostly chanting. And I had some people that would come up and support me. From there, I left, went back to San Francisco, and I learned I learned how to type on my back. I learned how to prop up my laptop, and I ended up writing several things, because this is what happens. I ended up writing several documents that actually are still valid today and are still being used by the business team, because this is what happens is in these moments of intense pain, there's also great light that comes through, but it only happens in the field. So what I did is, because I couldn't go, it was a real struggle for me to get to the center in San Francisco. I took just about everything that I had. I had calligraphies. I have calligraphies in my home in San Francisco. Whatever I could move into my bedroom, I moved it into my bedroom to create the highest frequency field that I could create. And so everything was around the room, hanging on the bed, half of the bed. I wasn't taking up much space. I was just laying in one position. It just covered books, CD, you name it, it was on there to raise the frequency of the field. And it worked. My pain levels started to come down. So from 25 or 30, that must have been 30 at least, or 35 when I was in Belgium, it was just off the charts. It started to come down, and I was able to go to Toronto in January, and at that event, Master Sha was able to help me. He gave me this little bit of water. It was just these tiny cups. I don't even know where they got them, but they're like the cups that they give you for pills, but we got water in them. But this was not any ordinary water. This came from a very sacred vessel. And he checked and he said, using his spiritual channels, in 10 hours you can walk. We were in a training, and I was standing for the duration of this training. I stood in the back the whole time, however long we were there, 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours, I was standing in the back, couldn't sit. Exactly 10 hours later, I went to the bathroom and someone was behind me. And the person said to me, "Ximena, you're walking." And I was like, "No." And then I realized, I could walk. I could put one leg in front of the other. And that was amazing to me. That was amazing. So what I learned from that experience, and then there's 2 more years of healing that took place, a lot of it in the Tao Chang, tracing calligraphies, chanting, using the 6 power techniques that Master Sha teaches us, and receiving. I received 2 more high-level blessings from Master Sha, and each one of them took me to a different level of healing. Very recently, he did a blessing for myself and 2 other people, and I can sit comfortably now. That because where I had the cysts were in the upper part of my back and in my sacrum. So sitting was extremely painful. Extremely painful, yeah. So for me, there was no medical option, because when I checked my spiritual channels, I was told that this was a spiritual issue. And trying anything experimental would not heal it, and there was a possibility of making it worse, which is actually statistically what happens. About 50% of the people, not everybody actually is accepted by the doctors for their experimental treatments. And of those that are, only 50% do better. The other 50% feel much worse. And they do all kinds of things. They try all kinds of things. So my experience has made me really extremely passionate. So that was in 2017, 2018. 2019, I was in 2019, I was in San Francisco. I had flown back because I was commuting back and forth between Vancouver and San Francisco. It was a temporary assignment then, but I got sick in San Francisco. And once again, Master Sha helped me. After that, he gave me a treasure for the first soul house. And instantly, I hadn't been able to stand. I was like jello. All my energy just was gone. He gave me a Jindan, a golden light ball for the first soul house. And after that, I could stand and trace. First day, I could trace for 1 hour. Second day, I could trace for 2 hours. Third day, I could trace for 3 hours. And I was just beside myself. I thought, wow, this is amazing. So I haven't stopped. I trace every day. Now I'm trying to manage my schedule so I can trace 4 hours a day. Why? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? And why do I recommend that other people do that? So the reason is because there isn't anything as powerful as the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field. So the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field is created by Master Sha when he writes calligraphy. The power that Master Sha puts into the calligraphies comes directly from the Tao. So what is the Tao? If you've been with Master Sha in any of his latest events, he explains it by sharing with us that the Tao is the name given to the source, the ultimate creator. And this is the text that he uses, which is the reference material he uses is the Tao Te Ching, the text that was written by Lao Tzu. The Tao Te Ching is the second most widely read book in the world. And in that book, Lao Tzu explained that the Tao cannot be seen, cannot be heard, cannot be touched. You cannot comprehend it with thoughts or words. We can talk about it, but we can never fully describe it because it is the Tao, the creator of everything. It is the creator of heaven and earth, except that there are many heavens and many earths because there are countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes. It is also, the Tao has no shape, no image, no time, no space. And it carries source, frequency, and vibration. For the condition that I had, and I still have, because it's incurable. You cannot replace your spinal cord, the cover for your spinal cord. So at any time there could be another wave of Shen Qi Jing blockages, negative messages, negative information, and that condition could once again become active. Because the negative information was so intense, with my third eye, I would be lying on my bed and I'd close my eyes and, I use the 6 power techniques, body power, the use of hand and body positions to create what? To create high density and low density fields. So I would put one hand over my heart chakra. That didn't work. So I put both hands over my lower abdomen. Mind power, creative visualization, And I learned years and years ago from Master Shah, you visualize light in that part of the body. I wanted to visualize light in my spinal cord. It was pitch black. It was pitch black. You know, I'm looking at the Zoom screen, and the border of the Zoom screen is pitch black. That's what my spinal cord was, pitch black. I thought my third eye had closed completely. But when my third eye opened, when I saw light, I realized, oh my gosh, that's the level of darkness. That's why Master Shah couldn't help me when I went to Belgium, because it was so high. It was so, so high. So you need a power that is greater than anything that man can create in order to be able to transform something so heavy, so dark. That's where you need the frequency of the source, the vibration of the source, the purity of the source in the messages of love, forgiveness, compassion, and light. Without that, it would have been I would not be functioning the way that I am functioning now at all. So the Tao carries source frequency, vibration, source messages of love, forgiveness, compassion, light that come in and transform the negative messages. So it transformed through Master Shah's blessings, through the tracing that I was doing, through the meditations that I was doing, going into the emptiness, and ultimately, finally being able to clear it. It was because of the source field. Master Shah had given me high-level treasure that I was connecting with as I was tracing, right? Plus, I was surrounded by every book and everything that I ever had. So the Tao includes, the Tao is the universal principles and laws. And recently, the aha moment that I had that I want to share with all of you is that, why does Master Shah teach that we have these universal laws? Because the universal laws are at play. When I fell, the law of gravity brought me down, face down on the cement. To heal these chronic and challenging conditions, you need a power that is greater than that can actually affect the universal laws, can be much higher than the universal laws, so that it can quickly, for instance, adjust the yin-yang imbalance that I had, or the 5 elements imbalance that I had, or the Shen-Qi Jing imbalance that I had. Anything that isn't higher than those universal laws is going to have limited impact. This is why it's so significant that Master Shah is a source channel, that when he writes the calligraphies, he connects to heaven, he connects to the source, and the source transmits its Shen-Qi Jing into the calligraphies. And then our job is to trace and bring that frequency into us, bring those messages into us. There is no other place on earth that I'm aware of where you can do that, where you can literally connect with the source. So 20 years ago, when I met Master Shah was teaching, he was teaching about the Tao, but he wasn't doing it the way he's doing it now. But he would have us go outside. 5:30, we were outside doing Tai Chi, facing the sun, doing movements, and we were terrible. He really tried to teach us, and we just couldn't even get the first movement, and we couldn't he was really hoping to get us through like at least 9 movements. So there was some grace, and we couldn't even get the first 2 or 3. There were 3 people, I think, Peter was one of them, and then two other gentlemen that learned the movements. But he was having us, he would have us go out, 5:30 in the morning, 12 noon, we would be outside, we would put our hands into a triangle, put them in front of our lower abdomen. Why? Because that's what he knew then in terms of how do you bring the frequency and vibration of the source. Those were the traditional Tao practices. Now we're way beyond that because Master Sha is a channel. We don't have to use, hope that that by putting this triangle here, putting it here, and hoping that the sun, really comes into the heart. We trace the calligraphies and purify our heart. We trace the calligraphies and we purify and develop our foundation. We trace the calligraphies and we purify, in my case, my spinal cord. For you, it might be your heart, your liver, your lungs, your kidneys, your back, your hips, whatever condition you have. This is extraordinary. This is truly extraordinary. Because I met Master Sha before he was a channel, I have seen the evolution of his power. I did the 5 power techniques. When I met him, I had Crohn's disease. I had leaky gut and I had an ulcer. My thyroid, they could not calibrate it with medication, too high, too low. My adrenals were shot. I had psoriasis all over my back, my arms. My hair was falling out in huge clumps. It would just come out because I could no longer digest or absorb food. My digestive system completely gave out because it turned out I had food allergies, but for 45 years, I was misdiagnosed and I ended up taking antibiotics for 25 years. I was taking super antibiotics, these pills. You take one pill, they're very expensive, but it was too much on my body. I was very, very sick. I just said, I cannot do medication anymore. But I was very steeped in the Western medical model. I met Master Sha. He taught, I love my stomach. I love my stomach. I love my stomach. One hand near, one hand far. What are we doing? We're creating fields. He was already teaching fields. But the power of the field that we have in the Tao Chungs, in the Tao calligraphies field, we did not have then. It took months. I got up at 7 every day, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. every day for months. I stood chanting, and you couldn't move because if you moved, you dissipated the energy. And so your frequency dropped. And we had to keep raising the frequency, raising the frequency, raising the frequency. Now you trace and instantly you are in source frequency. It's beyond anything that we did with Master Sha, any Taoist practices, anything. Instantly you have access to the highest frequency possible because this is the ultimate source. So you can transform in very short period of time. There are people in the chats that I still belong to that have the same condition that I have, and they are not able to, they're not making any progress. They're not moving. They're not advancing in their healing journey. They're stuck. They're stuck in that pain. And all of the experimental treatments are not working for them. And so all they have is more pain. Because I was in the medical community my whole life, I was sick since I was little because I have food allergies. I spent a lot of time in doctors' offices. So I know what they're doing. They're hoping, like I was, to find the right doctor and the right prescription. And I searched for almost a year and a half before I met Master Sha. and I couldn't find the right doctor. It was only after I met Master Sha, I finally found the head of the gastroenterology department at the University of California Medical Center. And what he told me wasn't what I wanted to hear. He was basically saying to me, he said, there is no cure for Crohn's. If we cannot contain it with, this cocktail, then we just remove sections of your colon, sections of your large intestine. And I just said, no cutting. You cannot cut body parts out, it's just not the way to go. And so Master Sha's techniques, I was willing to try them. But it took a lot of effort. It took a lot of effort because we didn't have access to the frequency that we have with the calligraphies. So the last thing I want to say about the calligraphies is that the calligraphies, why do the calligraphies work? Because the calligraphies have a field within them. When we receive a golden light ball, we are receiving a field. In that field are saints and saints' animals, temples. There are beautiful treasures. Everything that you can imagine and things that we can't even imagine are in this field. Everything that we need, for our health, for our relationships, for our finances, for any aspect of life is in the field. And here's the thing that I remember when Master Sha said this, you only need one calligraphy. You only need one calligraphy. Everything is in that one calligraphy because you have the source. But human beings are human beings. So they don't believe that one calligraphy could serve the heart, the liver, the lungs, the kidneys. So what did Master Sha do? He created 40 calligraphies and then gave them to us and put them into the Tao Chang. But every calligraphy can serve all of your needs. Whatever issue you're facing in life, it can help you to transform the message of that issue simply by meditating, by tracing, by doing movement in the field. So I want to take questions before we do practice, yeah? Anybody have questions, comments? Let me see. Is there any questions in the chat? Okay. Can you all share with me what challenges do you have that you're trying to transform?
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
I wanted to know where do I get the Tao? I'm new at this, so where do I go get the calligraphy, the paintings?
Beautiful. So, Dr. Rulin, what are the programs that you have? Because you are a center, and so you probably have several different programs that people can join every week. Yeah, can you share? And then also, how can people get the cards from you? Can people get the calligraphy cards from you? Yeah. Can you share? I'm sorry, I don't know the schedule for Portland, but I know all the centers have meditation, light massage, and movement. So please, Dr. Rulin, please help me.
Thank you, Dr. Ximena. You want us to promote our Portland Tao Center? Yes. So you can have order Tao calligraphy card. Then you can trace the card to yourself or book. Budget. And then book there is Tao calligraphies, or you can. And every week we have so we have a wellness program. Tuesday we have a Tao Chang in the Tao calligraphy field meditation, and Wednesday is Tao calligraphy field Tai Chi, which is kind of movement, and then Thursday is a Tao calligraphy field massage. So it's so powerful. We just finished meditation. It was just so it's incredibly powerful. It's really life transforming, uplifting, life saving. It's no words can express what you can get, even just from one session of 1 hour meditation. It's we just did one. I could not believe, and every time I was doing it, I could not believe how powerful it is. And so that is, you can join on the monthly base and get every week of those sessions, and it's so affordable, and it's it's like basically for a whole month, it's like you get one massage, on the physical, or 2 massage from some physical massage. So this is the value just beyond words. We're here to help you and every aspect of your life.
Do you have anything in? I'm sorry
Yeah.
for that. Do you have anything in California?
Yes, we have a center in San Francisco. Master Ximena, actually one of the original founders of that, and she also helped to grow to right now it's one of very big centers. Yes.
Yeah. So because all the centers are because of the pandemic, so depending on the state that you're in, they have different requirements in terms of holding public events. So at this time, we're holding, all the centers are currently holding online events.
Yeah.
And I would say to you, it's to your advantage. You find the events that work in your schedule. Yeah. So again, all the centers offer the Tao light massage and Tai Chi and meditation. And then I heard Dr. Rulin say that they have the wellness program. We also have something similar to the wellness program. We call them the daily practice sessions. So it's a different name for that particular program. But what I would say to you is, be very clear. What do you want to do? So I learned this, but I didn't know it at the time. I had one goal: heal my spine. That was my only goal. Heal my spine. When I met Master Sha 20 years ago, it was heal my digestive system, right? So what I learned from Master Sha after my healing was progressing is he teaches something called DING, D-I-N-G, healing. One organ, one mantra, one treasure. So that's what I was doing. I was connecting. I have a calligraphy card, a greatest love calligraphy card. I had one treasure that he gave me for my spinal column. And I was doing visualization in my spinal column. I was chanting with that one treasure. So one part of the body, one treasure, one mantra. That's all I chanted for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. It was the same thing 20 years ago, but the power was different. So the results are astonishing to me. That I can walk, that I'm pain-free. I wake up now, I'm pain-free. That's unheard of, because my whole life I've been in pain. My whole life I've had body pain. My whole life I've had digestive issues. So that I can wake up pain-free, it's because I do practices every day. So that's the other thing, is that get clear on what you want to, get really clear on what you want to transform. Focus on that and just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper in your practice, which means it may take a few months. We do, as I said, we do practice sessions every day in Vancouver. And clients who have had conditions for 25 years, 30 years, and they've received, a lot of different services. But it's the combination of service and practice this is why you need to be in the field. You need to be in the Tao calligraphy field, whether it's meditation, whether it's the Tai Chi movements. We do Tai Chi movements. We're going to do that in a minute. You need to be in the field, and you need to be in the field every day, because what happens is in the field, your frequency goes up. Then you come out of the field and the frequency starts to drop. But you need to keep your frequency up here, because it takes a lot of energy to transform the physical matter. It's easy to change the message. It's easy to change the message. As soon as Master Sha became a divine channel, healing, before Master Sha became a divine channel, the easiest way to heal was at the physical level. You know, cut out a tumor, give somebody an injection. It was all matter-based. When Master Sha, but changing the message, almost unheard of. As soon as Master Sha became a divine channel, the quickest way to heal, change the message. But now, why do we need to do practice in the field? Because we need to support that change as it goes from, in Tao science, as it goes from message, information to the heart, which is the receiver. And we have to keep opening the heart bigger and bigger and bigger, so we can receive greater and greater levels of high frequency and vibration. So that flow through down from the message to the heart, to the mind, the processor, to the energy and matter, all the way to the manifestor, transformer, takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. The body, the longer that you've had conditions, the more dense the body is. So you have to clear the spaces. It takes a little bit of practice to clear the spaces. But once it starts clearing, it's amazing what will happen for people. But you need to be in the field on a regular basis to sustain keep your frequency up here, so that that change in the message can go all the way down to the cellular level. So you do practices on your own, but you need to be in the field. So let's trace. Anybody else have questions? Oh gosh, 7. Okay, let's see what these questions
Master
are.
Ximena,
Yeah.
hi, can I please ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Master Ximena. I'm so sad I just joined and I missed, and I have to go back and watch your recording because you're amazing. Master Ximena, my question is, we all understand how important heart is. So because you are, one of the oldest students, you have such wonderful experience. Do you have any shortcuts, tips, tricks to open the heart? What helped you most that helped you open your heart? Because yeah, we can all benefit from that trick. Thank you.
Yes, it's called the Tao calligraphy field. That's the shortcut. The shortcut is you want to we can meditate. I meditated for 15 years before I met Master Sha. What meditation did is I only missed 2 days. In 15 years, I only missed 2 days. No matter where I was, if I was on a plane early in the morning, I'd get on the plane and I'd meditate on the plane. I'd arrive at the hotel, I'd meditate at the hotel. I only missed 2 days. What it did for me is it would connect me inside into my heart. But it did not change the messages in my body. It did not change the messages in my heart. And I ended up very sick. my digestive system gave out. And I was meditating. And I, by then I was already eating organic, and I was, doing the good things. I was, still eating things like pasta, but um, um, I wasn't, I wasn't drinking coffee. I wasn't drinking, no alcohol, no cigarettes. All those things were gone. But the messages in my body never changed. And eventually the messages came to the surface. So what you have in the Tao calligraphy healing field is access to new messages. I tried many things. I did affirmations. I had a folder that was this thick with affirmations. It didn't change anything. It didn't change any message. It didn't change my life. It didn't change my relationships. Because the power wasn't high enough to change the messages. So when we're looking for shortcuts, we have the shortcut. This is the ultimate shortcut. You could be spending millions and millions of lifetimes trying to meditate and trying to serve the poor, serve, the homeless. And here we have the ultimate shortcut, which is you practice. This is my recommendation to new people always. You start 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night. And you make that non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable. You make the time. You say, I'm going to do this, just like you would if you were getting up to go run. I was a runner. I ran for many, many years. I ran, I did yoga, I was eating my salads and my smoothies, and my body still gave out. Because the messages had not changed. You make a commitment to change the messages. Change the messages and change the messages. Pick one part of your life. 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night. Once you master that, then you're going to say to me, what do I do next? You double that. And see what happens. See what happens. Why does Master Sha say that we need to chant and trace for 2 hours? Not everybody's going to do that. Not everyone's going to do that until you're motivated to do it.
Yes.
What I would say to everybody is, don't wait for the motivation to come in the form of an illness. Instead, do it in advance. Prevent that, because by then the body is damaged. It takes a longer time to heal a body that's gone through illness. So better you practice in advance. You transform the messages before they manifest, before they blossom into a disease, into a condition, into unhappiness, into depression. Yeah. And you start 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night, and you make it non-negotiable. You don't go to bed until you do your 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night. You do that. You have to do this. This is what it takes. And everything inside of you will fight you, and you still do it anyways. You still make the time This is the shortcut. This is the ultimate shortcut, is the Tao calligraphy healing field. So someone has a question, and I don't know who you are, but can you share?
Oh, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good evening, Master Ximena. This is Kathy and Carrie from New Jersey.
Yes.
I'm just so excited because you talked about tracing, and last week I developed, if I can just share a short story, I don't know how much time you have, but I developed the most severe toothache I've ever had in my life.
Mm.
It was so excruciating. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I said, the retreat is coming up and I can't miss it. And so my husband chanted for me. He did Tao hands and he traced for me. And within less than maybe 5 minutes, I don't think it was 5 minutes, the pain disappeared.
There
And
you
I
go.
was like so excited. So I said, I'm going to trace tomorrow for myself. And we traced on Wednesday and Thursday, and he traced again for me on Friday. And we were in the field during the retreat, and it's now been 2 days, and I have no pain.
Yeah, the remarkable thing, Master Ximena, is that every time the pain kept flaring up, because we did our Tao hands and then we had to wait 5 hours. Every time the pain kept flaring up after we did our Tao hands, we went to tracing, and it was remarkable just how when you trace the Eye calligraphy, within, like I would say, minutes, 5 minutes, you can feel the pain. The pain was going away. And I think like the third day we started tracing, the pain went away for like almost like all day, you know?
Wow.
So it is remarkable. Everything that you're saying is a true testimony that we experienced on a severe level with her toothache. And I'm just so grateful to Master Shaw for the treasure that he delivered.
Yeah, so the difference is when you have a treasure, you have the golden light ball, you have that field inside of you. You need to activate it. But what happens is we don't see it. It's invisible. And so we forget to turn it on. The calligraphies have a bigger field than the one you receive for your tooth. It's a much bigger field, and we can see it. So this is the brilliance of what Master Sha has done. He created the calligraphies because he understands the need for all of our Shen, Qi, and Jing to come into a state of oneness. And because Professor Li was doing, literally, she's writing with one Qi. That's the ultimate healing. Master Sha had to learn calligraphy. And then, of course, he transmitted it. You know, he created the Tao Chang calligraphies in Belgium. And we were there. Dr. Rilin was there. I was there. There weren't very many Americans there at that particular retreat when he did that. But when he did that, I knew everything changed. Everything changed because now everything was possible because the calligraphies can hold all frequencies. Human beings have limitations because our hearts are still not pure. But the calligraphy, the papers is a total and unconditional servant. It receives the messages, the transmission, the source frequency and vibration in its totality. So let's practice, everybody. I have a calligraphy here, Dao Quan Shu. I love using this calligraphy because all of us need to change our messages. Boy, that's perfect. That's at the right height, huh? Can you see that okay, or is it too far away?
It's perfect.
No, it's perfect.
Okay, so I invite you to stand. I invite you to stand, and we may go over a little bit, but I'm happy to stay and answer questions because this is how you learn. You learn by asking questions. So I invite you to stand, feet shoulder width apart. Soften your knees. Put your hands in front of your lower abdomen. One hand in front of the other hand, in front of your lower abdomen. Do not touch the body. You need space. Energy moves in space. what we want to do is we want to connect with the field. Don't worry about, am I going left or right? Worry about connecting with the field. How do you do this? Close your eyes. Close your eyes and follow along with me. Dear the Tao Calligraphy, dear the Tao Calligraphy, Tao Quan Shu, greatest forgiveness. I love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Would you please give me a blessing for? What do you want to transform? Choose one thing that you want to transform. One part of the body, one organ, one system, one condition, one relationship. What do you want to transform? Make a request. And so we also connect with the divine, dear Tao, dear source. Countless planets, stars, galaxies, universes, countless healing angels, archangels, all kinds of spiritual fathers and mothers in heaven, Mother Earth, all realms, all dimensions, all traditions, all belief systems, all of my heavens team, my spirit guides. Connect with your spirit guides. Many of you may be Tao Hands practitioners. Dear my Tao healing hands. Maybe you're a Kuan Yin lineage holder. Dear my Kuan Yin lineage holder treasure. Dear the Da Bei Zhou. Connect with all of your appointments, divine healing hands, Tao healing hands, Da Dao Da I healing hands. Connect. I connect with my malas. I have calligraphies. I'm connecting with my calligraphies that I have. I have 3 very special calligraphies. I connect with them all the time. If you have the white book, you connect with the book. Dear all of my treasures, downloads, transmissions, orders, and blessings, please turn on. Give your greatest love to the field. Dear the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field in Vancouver. I'll open these. Please turn on. Please create a powerful field. Include everybody who's here this evening in this field. Give them the blessing they need for their request. Close your eyes. You already know how to make a circle. Close your eyes and connect with the calligraphy. Trace the circle 3 times with your eyes closed. Trace with your first soul house. Trace with your first soul house. Make that connection and then slowly open your eyes and slowly trace the calligraphy. You can trace with your hand, putting your 5 fingers together. My suggestion is you trace with your first soul house. Bring the field that's here into your first soul house. If you can develop a powerful first soul house, you will heal very quickly any aspect of your life. And we're going to chant Da Quan Shu. Da Quan Shu, 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 Da Quan Shu. Silently chant, trace, really focus. You know, when we trace Da Quan Shu, the light goes from the first soul house, this comes in to first soul house, and then rises up to the brain. Why? When we receive this the golden light ball for greatest forgiveness, it comes up to the brain. Many people experience a lot of what's it called? The mind quiets when they receive the golden light ball for forgiveness. So visualize light, first soul house, sixth soul house. Da Quan Shu, 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 Da Quan Shu. Silently, we alternate so that we can heal the larger, accelerate the cellular vibration in the larger spaces and also the tiniest spaces. The deeper we can go, the deeper in we can go, the better. Otherwise, we get surprised by messages that pop up all of a sudden because they're in so deep. Bring your focus back to your first soul house. Da Quan Shu, 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 Da Quan Shu. So I want to invite you to, so this is Tai Chi movement. So when we're tracing from our lower abdomen, it's a Tai Chi movement, because in Tai Chi, they are seeking to develop a stronger and stronger core, a stronger foundation, physical foundation. So everything that they do to build that internal strength. We're doing it by tracing with our first soul house, our first chakra. So this is a Tai Chi movement when we're tracing very slowly with the body. And this is just one. There's many different ways you can trace. You can do Tai Chi movement. And Dr. Berlin will share the schedule. So I want you to experience. So have a seat. But don't sit back in the chair. Sit only halfway back. Put your feet flat on the ground, shoulder width apart. Balance your weight. Drop your weight into your seat. Balance your weight between your feet and your seat. Stretch your spine. Put one hand in front of your heart chakra and one hand in front of your lower abdomen. Visualize golden light in your first soul house. Close your eyes. Allow the field of forgiveness, of the greatest forgiveness, to bathe you, to come in. Fill that part of the body with golden light. Visualize your breath coming in as light, coming in as light, going straight down to the first soul house. Your lower abdomen expands as the breath, with the inhale, contracts with the exhale. Continue to breathe in. See the light going all the way to the first soul house. Focus on the first soul house. Allow the field to change the messages of pain, of disharmony, disorder. Keep focusing on your first soul house. Focus on the breath coming in as light, going all the way down. See the golden light ball in your first soul house. Allow the messages of forgiveness to transform whatever messages are causing you to suffer. Just let them go. Let them go. Let the greatest forgiveness come into your heart, into your mind, into your entire being. Just focus. Breath comes in, goes all the way down. And for those that have not experienced Tao light massage and sacred liquid, 5 minute, 5 minutes of Tao light massage in sacred liquid. You don't have to do anything. Make a request. Tao light massage and sacred liquid for everyone's request begins now. Every organ, every system, every part of the body is receiving Tao light massage and sacred liquid, head to toe, skin to bone. Let me play some music for you. How? So very, very gently, open your eyes. Thank the divine, the Tao, the source, all of the saints, the entire field from the source that has given you the blessings that you have received through the Tai Chi movements, through the meditation, through the Tao light massage and sacred liquid. How do you feel? What's happening with your mind? Is it quiet? What's happening with your heart? Is it quiet? What's happened with your body? Are you more connected, more grounded? Yeah. This is the ultimate shortcut. The Tao calligraphy field with the sacred Tao calligraphies. I hope that you've gained a different perspective or a deeper connection with the Tao calligraphies, with the power of the Tao calligraphies, with what is possible in this field for you, for your loved ones, for everyone. It has been my great honor to be with you. And I thank Dr. Rulin, and I thank each and every one of you for being here and creating such a powerful field, because each of us has our own field. So your field, the Tao calligraphy field, we form a much more powerful field together. So thank you from my heart for being here, for your love and commitment to the practices and to the studies of Dr. and Master Sha. Thank you, Dr. Rulin. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Ximena. So many people, James was saying, thank you so much for your wonderful session teaching Paula. And thank you, Ximena. Love you, appreciate you so much. Renee, thank you so much, Master Ximena, for sharing your inspiration story, leading us through this transformative practices. So there's just, keep going. There's so much.
Oh, how sweet.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you to Karen Singh and Tina. And it's always such a joy to be with you always. We're so grateful. Thank you so much. Yeah, and so Danny's here, and Natalie, Ricky. Thank you, Ricky. I'm so glad you're here. Noelia, love you. Thank you. I was showing myself holding an Asian baby with pink hat. Thank you, Ximena, for such a beautiful practice. I feel wonderful. I love your teaching, Noako said. Weeping. Thank you, Ximena, for such a beautiful practice. This is, I just read it, it's just a small part of the whole thing. Yeah, we're so honored. I've been into such a beautiful space myself, so deep, so profound. And Stevie, Steve Katoni, Elizabeth, Ravely, thank you. They all thank you so much. Deep and perfect timing. Thank you. Tally says so much released, yeah, for everyone. Wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much for your great service. Ms. Ximena is serving globally and in a very profound, deep level. And all of us serving Master Sha and the mission. And, she's one of the earlier pioneers, really, remember Master Sha was telling us, once, I think in 6 months, they had like I don't know, 200 events or something like that. I don't know, but it was like Master Ximena was the one organizing it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was 3 months. It was 3 months. It was 145 events. And I remember, I was his business manager and marketing director, and I called him up and he said, it's not enough people. We don't have enough people. Heaven says it's not enough people. And I said, well, the only way to do it is we're going to have to do, 2 events a day. And Master Shah said, do it. And we did it, and it still was not enough people. And this is who Master Shah is. He said, book a third event. But here's what you don't know. He was driving. They were driving
Yeah, they're
from
driving.
one city to another city. So they were up like at 5 a.m. to either catch a plane or drive somewhere 7 or 8 hours, to the next location, do 3 events. And Master Shah in those days, he would be signing books till 1 or 2 in the morning. And then he'd do it again, and he'd do it again, and he'd do it again. Yeah, I have very special love for Master Shah because I saw what he was willing to do from the very beginning. We are very lucky. We are very, very lucky that he's on the planet at this time. We're very lucky. Yeah. So I thank Master Shah most of all for making all of this possible, and I thank all of you. Love you, love you, love you, Dr. Rulin. Love you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been my great honor to be with you.
Thank you so much. Every time you say that story, it just makes get my 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 eyes wet. It's just so touching. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Love you all. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Good night to everyone. Thank you for being here. Wonderful.
Thank you, Master Ximena. Please come back soon.
Aloha.
Love you all. Bye.
Love you, Master Ximena.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.